Yeah, just a quick response video here. Um, this guy by the name of Jake, uh, he decided to mention me and my channel name in one of his videos in kind of a derogatory fashion. Now, I'm going to affectionately call him, for the purpose of this video, Poverty Jake. We got Poverty Jake, we got Slick Dick here, Mr. Flag, and then we got Mr. Unlucky from Kentucky, Mr. Mitchell. So we got the trifecta for you here on this Saturday night. It appears that this guy, Poverty Jake, has a knack for stating the obvious. I mean, we all understand the difference between $32 and $8. I mean, that just goes without saying. But that $8 pump fuel is not the same fuel as the $32 mix, okay? That pump fuel has got over 100 compounds in it, whereas that Moto Mix has about 10, okay? That canned fuel is going to stay fresh for 2 years or more, where that mix is going to go sour probably within 30 days, or I wouldn't use it after that. Now, the cost of the fuel for these saws, is only the small part of the equation to run these things. I mean, you got fuel, yeah, but you got bar oil, bars, chains, sprockets, spark plugs, clutches, the list goes on and on. And then if you're going to make a realistic video on the cost of what it's costing you to do your whatever endeavor, you have to give a profit. You have to give a number. Otherwise everything is, to me, is meaningless. As far as the fuel goes, for the use in the saws, I would say a lot of times it costs me more in gas to drive my vehicle to the job and come back than it costs me in chainsaw gas to run the saw. Okay? Now, Poverty Jake, this is to you, okay? If you really need to save money, just get rid of the chainsaw altogether. Get yourself one of those crosscut saws. You can pick one up for $170 to $300 and throw the saw away. Zero cost in fuel. I mean, look at the money you're going to be saving, and look at the exercise you're getting. I mean, come on, man. You want to save money, there you go. And, why are we going to stop there? Why not get rid of your truck? Then you don't have the payments. You don't have to pay gas for the truck. You don't have to, and then, you could go even further. I mean, if you really want to save money, you can dig a hole in the ground near a creek. Get yourself some concrete blocks from Lowe's or Home Depot for 99 cents and make a chimney. And it stays beautiful underground. It's 50 to 60 degrees all year round. Summer, you're cool. In winter, you're warm. Now, obviously, I'm joking. And it's just like your position. An argument of absurdity. Reductio ad absurdum. Okay? So, now that we've established the content, I did make a comment on the video. And I did attempt to engage in some, positive conversation or comments back and forth, debate. However, you decided you're going to attack me personally because you didn't like something that I said. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And you ended up, when I made the comment of how your European loggers use the fuel, you delete it. Anything that I brought up that was part of my argument, you got rid of it and you attacked me. Now, I looked at your channel and there's a video where you say, in this channel that you're open to comments and that you're going to entertain other viewpoints, even though they conflict with yours. Well, apparently that's what you say and what you do are two different things. Okay? And those are your words. I never said that. You said that. Now, I get it. People have bad days. Okay. But, making a video calling me out is not helping the situation. So after having to endure Mr. Poverty Jake's, second grade mathematic lesson for about 8 minutes, he finally touches upon the health issue. Okay? And that's one of the things that I talk about. I'm 55 years old. Those fumes, I'm not, that's it. And I'm not the only guy. There's another guy on here. He's got 100-something thousand subscribers to Cotton Top 3. And Cotton Top 3, I guess he was into logging and then through his career. And this guy's been doing this a long time. This man knows what he's doing. I watch him all the time. Nice guy, he seems like, But he doesn't use the pump gas. I was watching a video, and if I recall correctly, he takes some non-ethanol and then he mixes it with a race gas, 2.5 gallons of this, 2.5 gallons of that to make 5 gallons. And I think he uses Motul 800 as his oil. So there's another guy. Okay, I'm not saying he's running Motomix or VP, but he runs this fuel. And like I said, there's a reason why. Now, maybe his fuel supply isn't that good where he's at. I think he's out. I think he said Indiana. I could be mistaken. But we get it. But, I'm going to take his word of what he does. Now, I'm taking that to an extreme. I'm not mixing octanes to get, and I think he said he wanted like 100 octane. He shot for 100 to 102. Well, I'm not doing that, but I am running another fuel. But anyways, getting back to Poverty Jake over there, he does talk about the health issue, but he glosses right over it and says something about, driving a truck is risky. Being out in the woods is risky. Life is risky, which is true. But the smart guy tries to, mitigate his risk, and he tries to stack things in his favor. Okay, so I'll give you, for instance, like I said, I am not a professional logger by any means, but I do quite a bit of work. At the time, firewood, I heat my house, sell firewood to some people in the local area, and I do some tree work. Okay? So I kind of got a grasp on it. On the saws, I think I have these things down pretty good. That's what I've prided myself on, is building a good, strong saw that gets good fuel economy and lasts. Okay? And, any one of these saws here, this one here, I started running in 2017. It's been running for 7 years. And it's just been fed a steady diet of the Motomix. I guess what I'm going to have to do is take this out, take the cover off, we'll take the spark plug, and we'll put the boroscope down in there. I'll take the exhaust, and we'll put because I'm not going to disassemble the thing. But that'll do the same thing. You'll be able to look in there and see everything. Okay? But getting back to the tree work, like I said, I'm no professional logger. And anybody that's a logger and that's what they do for a living, or is a tree service, tree company, I have a lot of respect for you. I think it's an underpaid trade, a very dangerous trade, and that a lot of people don't get paid their worth. But it's a necessary trade. I mean, you want toilet paper to wipe your bum, somebody's got to cut down the tree, right? So I'm not trying to disrespect anybody that's in that trade at all. It's not my intention here. But, getting back to me there, and talking about stacking the odds. if I get a tree and it's leaning a certain direction, okay, say an ash tree, I'm not out there by myself. I got an assistant helping me out. And I put a rope up in a tree. We tie that tree off. We got mechanical advantage, either a rope and pulley system or a Mazdam or a truck pulling or whatever. But we got something on our side. Okay? And what I do is I'll take it and I'll bind it so that if something should happen where she wants the chair, it can't. It just can't. So you're eliminating that from the equation, because they do that. You could do everything perfect and they'll still barber chair if they're leaning, because it's physics. They're pulling. It's just the way it is. Okay. But, I've had guys chide me and say, wow, Fabe, you should do this, and you do a bore cut and you do that. Okay. But for me, I'm not doing it every day. And I want to come in there and the guy that I have working with me to go home to his family the same way that he came into the job. So we'll take our time. We'll set our ropes. Like I said, set the mechanical advantage. Take your time. And then ultimately, as I'm doing the back cut, I'm watching, and I watch the top of that tree. And when I get to the point of no return, I'll move away. I'll move 10, 15, 20 feet away. Okay? And that's the, I said it wrong on Instagram, but it's a 90, 5, 15 rule. It's like one of the first rules I learned, that 90% of the accidents occur within 5 feet of the stump of the tree that was felled within 15 seconds. And it makes sense, because think about it, that thing is falling, a branch could grab another tree. You don't know. The point is if the gun is pointed at you and you're standing in front of it, you're going to take the bullet. But if the gun is pointed and you're sitting over there 20, 30 feet away, you can't get hit, right? So you're eliminating that. Oh, Fabes, it takes too much time, whatever. I could do that in 10 minutes. And you know what? Maybe you could. If it takes me 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, even if it takes me an hour to get the tree on the ground and get it on the ground safely, then I'm taking the time. It just, at my level of skill, and even if I was more skilled, it's still, you're stacking the odds in your favor. Okay? Now, for some guys, that's not going to work. But, there's these people chiding on me. I always tell them, I says, the cemetery is full of people they're faster cutters than me. I mean, it's just the way it is. Now, you get me on a bucking log where I'm going to buck the thing, there's going to be a hard time for you to win in that game. You better be on your A game there. Now we get into the part of the video here of his where he starts really going off the rails, and this is just my opinion. He says that I'm being unpleasant to him, to Mr. Flag, which is Slick Dick, and to Wes, who's Mr. Unlucky from Kentucky. And I've dealt with all three of these guys before, Like I said, I wanted to engage in somewhat of a fruitful conversation, but this guy decides to, whatever, he didn't like what I said. Maybe he felt that the comment I made about a business model, he didn't like that or whatever. Okay, well, that's the way it is. Don't attack me. Look at my argument, and I'll look at yours. And if you want to have a conversation, you go after the guy's argument, not the person. Okay? Basically, whatever I would state that did not align with his position, he would just delete the comments. Okay, so, all right. So I told him, I says, all right, whatever. I'm not going to bother with you. And I was on my way until I see that, he mentions my name in my channel in one of his videos, which, kind of low budget, but what do you expect with these people? Now, as far as this Wes Mitchell guy goes, Mr. Unlucky from Kentucky, this guy, a while back, I was on his channel, and for whatever reason, we went back and forth, and there was a bet made with his 400C against my 462 for $1,000. That's what this man said. And it never happened. Okay, that's fine. I mean, whatever. As far as I'm concerned, the guy welched on the bet. If you're not going to follow through with what you say, then to me, look at Wes, I don't dislike you, but I don't have the respect I had for you when I first met you. And that's on you. That's, I don't necessarily go by what people do with their mouth. I watch their actions and how they act. Because, when people tell you who they are, you listen to them. I learned that a long time ago. And then as far as Mr. Flag, that I'm being unpleasant to Mr. Flag, I did make a comment, and it was along the line about the oil thread, where Mr. Flag, first of all, he hates this oil. This oil is the devil incarnate to this guy. And I could never understand why. I've never had any problem with it. There's guys that have been running it for 30 years that never had any problem with it. But supposedly every saw he brings into the shop is blown up because it was run on this oil, which I find hard to believe. I don't think that's being unpleasant. I think that's just stating a fact. And I think Mr. Flag has posted, in my opinion, some questionable oil videos. I mean, the most bizarre that I saw was when he ran one tank of fuel through a saw, tore it down, and then was declaring victory. You can't tell anything on one tank. I mean, that's ridiculous. So, like I said, I'm going to move on from this. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this Wes, he's in the cult. I know Slick Dick, he's in the cult. We got his number. And this guy Jake, Poverty Jake or whatever, I think they're all, there's an old saying, birds of a feather all flock together.